Good afternoon, Numa Living listeners. Hope you're well today. I'm just setting out on a little walk and I'm just bringing you a thought of the day today. Just something I just felt, I don't know, just dropping my spirit, I guess, over the weekend. And it just made me smile, so I thought I'd share it with you. Thinking about a season that we're walking in at the moment, and a season that probably will take some faith to come through. We know God's moving us into new things, and just the words, God has a soft spot for risk takers. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that he doesn't love us all. He loves us all exactly the same. You'll know if you're a parent or if you have children in your family that a parent's love will be the same for all the children, whether they're misbehaving, whether they're not. You know, parents' love is always there for every single one of their children. That doesn't change. But I think he gets a bit excited when we're willing to get out the boat, when we're willing to say, I'm not sure about this, but I'm going to give it a go. If you look at the Bible, I mean, you know, look back at the Bible. Moses had a stutter. God did call him and God did say, you know, you go and do this, Moses. This is what I've asked you to do. But he had a stutter. I mean, this fella had to take some risk to go out there. Young David, I think he was probably a bit hardcore as a kid, fought lions and bears. Makes you think, does he have any sense? But you know that this kid, still a kid, probably a teenager when he went out and faced Goliath. And you know, he didn't just face Goliath. Goliath was the mouthy one that stood at the front, but he didn't just face Goliath. He faced a whole tribe of giants. That's risk. Elijah, when he come up against Baal, that was risk. Paul, when he was Saul and he changed his direction, he was one of the head henchmen of beating up and killing Christians. Turn the other way. I just think God, he's attracted to risk. He gets a bit excited, I think, when we choose to step out the boat. You know, it says in scripture that the way we please God is by faith. You know, to please God, we have to use faith. And that's true. The only way to please God is to use faith. And faith's hard. Faith doesn't give you guarantees. Faith says, trust in me and step out. I wrote something a little while back, and it was on probably explaining it in a more natural way that we can understand. But it's when a baby learns to walk, the parent loves the baby. You know, the baby's been crawling, confident in crawling, happy, go lucky, go along, crawling. But the parent knows what's on the other side of the walking, and a baby doesn't. A baby has to take a bit of risk, has to overcome that doubt, even at that tiny age. You know, some of them are walking 9-10 months, some of them 14 months. My kids were 14 months, and that baby has to choose, I'm going to take a bit of risk here. And look at the father, look at the mother, but you know, if we're looking at God looking at us, look at the father. Did they get a bit excited? Did they get a bit, come on, you can do it, you can do it? And I think that's how God is with us. When we're just on the precipice of stepping out, we're just on the precipice of being a little bit brave, stepping out into something that we're not sure, but we want to trust it's him. And I think, because if you look at the father who's looking at the baby, who's learning how to walk. The Father knows what's on the other side of that. The Father knows walking doesn't finish with walking. It might start with 1 or 2 stumble steps and a bump and a fall. But that Father knows soon that baby will go into one step in front of the other. Once that baby's done that, they start to run. Once they can run, they can kick a ball. Once they can kick a ball, they can start to play around and start to play cricket. It doesn't stop with walking. Yet that baby doesn't know that. That baby doesn't know what is in front of it. It only knows, oh, do I do this? Do I do this? And how encouraging and how excited are we as parents when, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And I really think God is like that with us. I do think he's got a soft spot for risk takers. I do think he's there going, come on, I see what's on the other side of this. I know there's more for you. Trust me. Get out the boat. There's only one way to try. And you know he's there. If we fall over, if we bump ourselves, if we, maybe overshot, he's there. He's going to pull us back. But is it worth it today? Is it worth it to please God? Use that bit of faith. Use that bit of faith. You know that, okay, God, I'm going to trust you here. I'm going to believe that this is you, and I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to use that faith. I'm going to step out the boat and just see what he does. God bless you guys.